Hi everyone, my name is Carly Bell and I love to do machine embroidery tutorials. And today we are continuing with a new sew along that we started right before Thanksgiving for the Kimberbell Candy Cane Lane bench pillow. So here it is. This is what we have been working on. So far, if you are tuning in for the first time, I think this is the fourth video in this series. And in the first video, you will see I go over all of the information on everything that you need to do or get in order to complete this project. And I also have a home page on my website, carlybell.com. If you scroll and look through the blog post, you'll find I have a post dedicated to Candy Cane Lane. And it has all the info in there. It even has the video replays of all the classes we've done already, this live schedule if you want to participate live, and links to all the supplies and designs and where I got everything from. So I just wanted to say that for our new friends that are just joining us. But if you are returning, thanks for coming back. Glad to see y'all. Let's see, I see Linda and Quilt Lynch. We're going to test me. Is it Trish? Am I remembering right? Hi, Betty. Hi, I think I said Linda. Let's see, Whitfield Way. Hello, how are you doing today? Yes, so today, we've already made the first two blocks, the street lamp, the cocoa stand, and today we are working on the red house. And today's class is special because we are going to break this completely down where you would make this in a 5x7 hoop. Now, for all the other blocks, we've been using 6x10. And if you have even larger than a 6x10 hoop, if you have a Stellaire like I do that has 9.5x14, or you have an 8x12 hoop, all of these 5 middle blocks you would make on a bigger than 6x10 hoop. I'm modifying it because kind of keeping it like a middle range. Yay, I remembered. My memory is not great, but I did remember that one. So I wanted to kind of show you all the different ways to do this bench pillow depending on what hoop size you have. So we've gone over, if you have a big enough hoop size to fit everything, that was the street lamp. You'll see that, and that would be the second video in the series. How if you have a large enough hoop, you could fit everything in one. Then the cocoa stand was a modified tutorial showing you, even though this technically doesn't all the way fit in a 6x10 hoop, I can make it fit without actually distorting the size of the design or the quilting. And so that was video number 3, the cocoa stand. Today's lesson is the red house, and we're going to do everything in a 5x7 hoop along with the background quilting and the design itself. Now, something I did not realize until right before this lesson when I was going over everything is that all the designs on this pillow are a 5x7 size. So there are nothing that is larger than 5x7 when it comes to all the cute little applique designs that make up each block. So we don't have to split anything. So I had in my head that these houses where we're going to have to split and do one hooping with the bottom and another hooping with the roof, and we would have to, I would go over the whole split placement thing, but we don't have to do that. That makes it super easy. So the only thing that's going to be helpful today is that we're going to use clear blue tiles. So we're going to go over that method, and I'm going to give you a cheater method in case you don't have clear blue tiles yet. And we're going to go over how to stitch the applique design onto our already quilted fabric and get the placement just right. So that is everything we're going to cover today, I think. All right, I'm a little scatterbrained because I taught a class right before this one, so I was like rushing getting everything right. All right, so moving on. Also, whenever we're waiting for something to stitch, if you didn't watch Monday's video, I ordered the Missouri Star Quilt Shop advent calendar. I got it last year and I loved it, and I ordered it again. And it's called Jenny's Countdown to Christmas. I think it's what the box is actually called. And Monday was December 1st, so I opened up day 1, and Elise was with me. And she was so funny because I was going to open Monday and Tuesdays, and then today open Wednesday and Thursday, but she corrected me and say I should not spoil things. So I listened to my 9-year-old daughter, and I only opened day 1. So today we will open day 2 and day 3, which this one I'm almost positive is fabric. So I'm excited. So this is something I'm doing as with this sew along for the next few weeks. Instead of making separate videos of the unboxings, we're just going to unbox them live on our Candy Cane Lane sew along. All right. Elise is smart. Yes, she is. And as much as I told y'all she was going to be at school today, she is not at school. She is downstairs at home. She was supposed to go to school today. And then we had some nervousness and freaking out. And she's got a tummy ache and she's telling me her throat hurts and all those things. So I gave in. I let her stay. But tomorrow she's going. Tomorrow she's going back to school. And I asked her, I'm like, I'm doing my video today. Do you want to come? And she's like, no. So she's really laying it on that she doesn't feel good. So I wanted to tell y'all that. But I think she's better. I think she's just super nervous about going to school and having to eat at school if something doesn't feel right. And she's been doing a lot better. For those of y'all that are confused, my daughter had her tonsils taken out right before Thanksgiving. And so she's been recovering. And we are now at the very end of that recovery where she should be back at school, but we're teetering that line. So anywho, let's see. Denise says she has been opening her Jenny box daily and posting YouTube shorts of it. Yay! Okay, I'm gonna have to go watch yours, Denise. At Denise Creates. Everybody go watch her if you're also loving the unboxing of the advent calendars. And then, yay, Shannon loves her Jenny box too. And then there's someone I follow on Instagram. I think it's called the Little Green Bean. I love her. I first got hooked on watching her because she did hand embroidery. And, like I'm doing machine embroidery. I don't know how to do hand embroidery. So it was fun to watch her. But now she's gotten into quilting. And actually, she just bought an embroidery machine the other day. So I was super excited for her. But she showed a different advent calendar from Stitch Supply Company. Has anyone gotten that one before? Because, I'm having FOMO. And maybe I'll get that one next year. We'll see. All right, moving on. Let's talk about things. I have not checked this camera yet. Oh no, it is all wacky. Let's zoom out a little bit and move to where y'all can see things. That's about good. Okay. Let's talk about what we need today. All right, we are making the red house. Oh, also, I am a terrible student. Who told me? I think it was Trish. I'm probably gonna need to have detention because I did not finish my homework of pre-cutting everything for this block. So I think I got the background and I got the door. I did not get what's going to be the red part of the house and the peach part of the roof. I never cut those out yet. And I have all these fabric. I need your help. This is my excuse. I need your help to help me pick which fabrics I should use for these sections. I did that on purpose. Yeah. Okay. So things we need. And then I was thinking about something else too before we started. Now, we have our background fabric. This is pre-cut and interfaced with Pellon SF 101. And we're going to leave this alone. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and center. The first step is doing the background quilting. And we're going to try and center it on there where it's right where I want my background quilting to be. Now, my batting, I pre-cut to size. So this is the actual finished size of the block, which is 6 by 8, which obviously is too large, even though it probably looks like it'll fit. If only my embroidery area was actually the space here. But if I put the grid in, I don't know where my grid is, you would see that I can't stitch all of this. It's 5 by 7. So it's a bit smaller. Now the question is, the question I'm asking myself right now, was, should I keep this pre-cut size batting and try and get my background quilting? Let's cut this. Let me get my paper scissors. This is the background quilting design. Oh, I wanted to cut this where it was super straight. Oh well. When I show you my cheater method, if you don't have clear blue tiles, you're going to want to do this like with a ruler, or even if you have one of those, what you call the paper cutters, like you teacher had in school. If you have one of those, or the crafty paper cutters that have the sliding bit, you want a super nice straight edge and it being as close as possible. All right. So let's talk about, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about background quilting. So we have our background fabric, we have our batting, and essentially what we're going to do is put the batting first and the fabric on top. And then we are going to float this on our hoop. And we are going to stitch this background design 2 times. 1, 2. 2 hoopings. If you have clear blue tiles, and I'm going to show you my big bag of them, they come in a different array of sizes. And the purpose of them is so that you can do larger areas of quilting, but with smaller hoops, and do multiple hooping, so that when you're done, it looks like the whole thing was quilted at one time. Or even if you're doing a large piece, it will look like it was done on a long arm machine. That is the goal of clear blue tiles. So let's look at the background quilting designs first. Let's do that. Let me move this over here. And sorry, let me get some things right on my screen so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Nope, that's not what I want. This guy. Go over here. And now you should be seeing my other display. But we got to make sure you can actually see everything. There we go. And this. Okay, so Embrilliance open, and this is my folder with all of my Candy Cane Lane stuff in it. When I go to the quilting, this is my folder for quilting, and I have let me make this icons. This is the background quilting for all the blocks, and this is the border quilting. When I go to the background quilting, I have 2 options: instructions, embroidery files. Click embroidery files. Now, this is where the things are going to change compared to what we've done in the previous videos. All the other times we were doing block by block. Okay. And with block by block, we get, open up. We get a design. Let's open this one with borders on it. It has a stitch for placement and tack down of batting, and it has a stitch for placement and tack down of background fabric. When you open the clear blue tiles, those borders go away and you're left with only one step, and that is the quilting. Okay, so that was block by block. So if you have a 5 by 7 hoop or smaller, or you're doing a different project and you want to have quilting all over it, no matter what size hoop you have, but it's, your project is bigger than your hoop, you're going to want to do the clear blue tiles method. And when you click this, pick your format of choice, and you are going to see that you have several I think it's all the same size options as we would have with block by block. But the difference is they don't have those borders on them. It's just the background quilting. Now, all of these sizes, so this one's 2 by 2, 2 by 4, 2 by 6, 2 by 8. So they have usually one width, which is 2, and then 4 lengths. I might be wrong. This is 2 by 10. I'm very wrong. This is 2 by 12 and 2 by 14. The original clear blue tile set, I think, comes with up to 10. And then they have an expansion pack that comes with up to 14. So one width, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lengths. So this is all 2 inches wide, up to 14 inches long. Then we got 4 inches wide, then 6 long, 8 long, 10, 12, 14, but they're all 4 inches wide. Then we have 6 inches wide, and because we already had 2 by 6 up here, this one goes straight to 6 by 6. Same thing with 4 by 4. The 2 by 4 is already here. So we start with 6 by 6, 6 by 8, 6 by 10, 6 by 12, 6 by 14. Then we go to 8 by 8. Again, start all the other smaller by 8s are up here. Start with 8 by 8, 8 by 10, 8 by 12, 8 by 14. So those are all the sizes of this particular pattern. Other patterns may have larger sizes because they have a new expansion kit now that goes up to 16 inches long, and maybe wider options. I have to go play with designs that I have and see. But for this particular pillow, these are our options. So notice there's no 5 by 7 option. These are all going to be even numbers and not specific to hoop size. They are specific to clear blue tile size. And if you buy the normal clear blue tile set, you'll get 2 through 8 as far as widths, and then 2 through 10 as far as lengths. So it's just these 12 12 and 14. Let me put this on list so I can actually see yeah, 12 and 14 are going to be not in the original set of Clear Blue Tiles. That's when you get the expansion set. All right. So now let's look at, now that you see what the designs look like, now let's look at what the clear blue tiles look like. Okay, I'm checking the comments too. Yes, Linda. Linda also likes Little Green Bean. She has cute stuff. Charlene says Stitch Supply is bag making supplies. Okay, so it's not just sewing. It's more geared towards bag making. That's fun. Shannon says Cotton Cuts have a couple of different advents. I got the Notion one last year and it was really good. Yay. Karen also got the countdown, Jenny's countdown. And then, let's see. Okay. And Coatland says it wasn't me, but I don't remember what we were talking about that she said that. Okie dokie, Smokey. So this is what a clear blue tile looks like. And each one pertains to those size of designs that I was showing you earlier. Oh, also, let me go ahead and give, I forgot to give the announcement of I have to stop today's class a few minutes before 3 o'clock. So if we are not done, we will finish in the next class because I have to go get Abby from school a little bit early for an appointment today. Okay. I'm trying to get my big thing over here. And let's zoom out a bunch so you can see everything. All right, so clear blue tile corresponds to each of those sizes of quilting that I showed you on the computer just now. And this is my bag that I keep all of them in. This is the Kimberbell tote. It was on sale, I want to say last week, for the Black Friday, they have a new sale this week. Yay. And guess what the new sale is? Orange pop rulers and clear blue tiles. So if you don't have these things and they've been on your wish list for a while, Kimberbell's deal of the week this week, the first week of December 2025, are these items on sale. So go check that out. And I have a Kimberbell affiliate link. And if you purchase through my link, it really helps support my channel, and I appreciate it. And it's like no extra cost for you at all. And if you click on any of my Kimberbell links, I have a direct link to the Kimberbell Daily Deals on the Candy Cane Lane homepage. So you can click on that one and it will take you there and you'll see these sales. All right, so what I've done is put, oh, I forgot to talk about borders. That we'll get to borders in another class. These are border tiles and they are border designs, which I haven't shown you yet. But these are my twos. So I got 2x2, 2x4, 2x6, 2x8. I don't know where the 2x, I must have put them in a different spot, the 10s. Yeah, I put them over here. Then these are my 6x6, 6x8. These are my 4s. I kind of have them mixed up a little bit. 4, 6, 8. So you can see like my real only option for a 5x7 hoop, 4x6 is my largest option. I could do 4x4, I could do 2x2, 2x4, 2x6. That's my only options that's fitting in a 5x7 hoop. Everything else is got the 8 inches or 6 inches, and that's too big for the hoop. But lucky for us, the actual finished block size is 6x8. So if I do, this is already 6 inches wide and 4 this way. And if I do another one, that makes it 8 inches long and 6 inches wide, which is perfect for the block we're doing. And I have 2 of these. And let me tell you, if you ever subscribed to Me Time, Perfectly Pieced by Me Time. Where's my box? Here. I just ordered one that was on sale. If you ever subscribe to this, your first box should have came with 2 clear blue tiles, a 4x6 and I think a 6x10 maybe was the other one. And it should have came with your first subscription box that you got. So go dig it through that and find it if you have that and don't have the clear blue tile set. All right. And then you can see just from sew on, there's the 8x8. Oh, they came with these cute slap bracelets that help you when managing a large quilt. These are all 10 inches long. I have the 2, 4, 6, 8. These are borders. We're not going to cover that. Now, these are the ones I got in the expansion set. These are all 12 inches long. And these are all 14 inches long. That was the expansion kit. It also came with some labels I haven't used and a book on how to use them. And it came with some free background quilting designs. Let's see if they show you which ones. And it's funny because I didn't realize I had one of them and I went and bought it for my nephew's thing, the bee one. So it comes with a winter design, a spring design, a summer design, which is the bees, which I went and bought again, and candy corn. That one's cute. I thought it came with more than that. Oh, here we go. It's got winter, spring, swirls, fall, summer, loops, border swirls, border loops, and these are called bitty blocks, but these will go in the 2x2 block. So they're super cute. That comes on a USB stick with the clear blue tile set. And then the bag was a separate purchase. Hi, let's see, it was TWAS. No, you haven't missed too much. We haven't even started yet. I'm still talking about everything because I talk way too much, but I want to make sure everyone understands. We're talking about clear blue tiles. All right, focus. All right, so I'm using the 4x6. This makes the most sense. But look, this, when you look at it on the batting, it's going to fit it perfect, right? But here's what I'm thinking. I really have to make sure my batting is spot on in the middle of this, and that I put my marks. I'm just going to feel through it and make sure when I mark this, it's right at the top and lined up perfectly with the batting, which I think I could do. If you're worried about not getting this just right, your other option is to go ahead and cut your batting bigger than the block size, like almost as big as your background fabric. And then you don't have to worry about being so spot on. Just have your 2 hoopings and then trim your batting on the back so that you won't have it in your seams when you're done. So that's another option for you. I'm going to live dangerously and try to do this with one. So step 1 would be for me to have this batting perfectly center and basted with some spray in the middle of this. That shouldn't be too hard with a ruler, right? So this is 8.5. This is 6. So I have 2.5 inches split between 2 sides. It would be 1.25 inch on each side. So 1.25, 1. Where's 1? That's 1.25. Yeah. Okay. So that's right in the middle, widthwise. Now, lengthwise, I got 10.5, and I have 8, right? So same thing, 2.5 total, split that in half, 1.25 on each side. So this needs to move up a smidge so that I have 1.25, 1.25. All right, there's probably 15 other ways to make sure that this batting is actually in the center of this block. Do whichever makes the most sense for you. All right, now that I have it where I want it, I'm just going to spray some adhesive on either side. You can also use that Elmer's glue stick we've been using for all our other projects. So make sure these corners stay. All right, you can also use some paper tape. All right, now that I have this on there, and that should stay. Get that in there, good. I can feel right where that batting is. You can kind of make some little indentation lines here. And I'm going to use that as a guide of where I'm going to put my clear blue tile. And what I want to do is I want to line it up with the top and the sides, so that my whole section is going to be covered with background quilting. Now again, there are 15 other ways that we can do this part. If you actually want to quilt the whole thing, you can do that as well. I'm trying to do this in the least amount of hoopings as possible. But if you feel more comfortable quilting a little bit bigger size so that you know your finished block is more than enough quilted, you can do that as well. All right, so once you have this, I thought I had one of those Kimberbell pins, but I don't. Let's see. I don't have them out on my table. It is probably, I just don't know where it is. Okay, so they came with these water-soluble pens. And what we're going to do is, you see we have the cutout where the arrow is. and blue lines in each corner and in the center on each side. And then we have this little open box where this helps you if you're doing like a whole bunch of different size tiles. You would write what size tile you have right here, because this is going to remind you what size embroidery design to open up and stitch on this spot. Because you can do some really fun things with these and like have different blocks that are all different shapes and sizes, like squares and rectangles, and do custom quilting inside each of those blocks. Okay, I think this is where I want it. So I'm going to do this, center, this. Okay, and then where all these lines are, okay, so you should have something like that done. Okay. I didn't write in here because I find that box is always so small and I'm only doing 4x6. But if I wanted to, I could write 4x6 right there. But now you can see the outline, and that's exactly where my embroidery design is going to go. Now that I have that marked, I use that to place my second one, and I go ahead and do the marks for that too. And you see I'm lining up these corners. This center one I think is the most important, and this one. And then for me, I'm still feeling where my batting is, and the edge of my batting is here. So I'm like really having it touch. Okay. So you end up not really having to mark this one anymore because you already have it. So I'm just going to focus on my center. And then if you were doing something after this one, you would make sure and mark all of these as well. So you have things to, if you're moving this way, line those up. If you're moving down here, line those up. So it's a marking tool to help you figure out where you should center each design. Okay. If you don't have this, you can cheat. Don't tell Kimberbell I'm telling you this. These are much nicer to have, and they're on sale. So if you have it within your budget, go get these. If they're not within your budget, you can still do this. And that is by printing out the background quilting design from Embrilliance. It's going to print true to size, and it's going to print with these beautiful little crosshairs right there for you. So I've done this in my VIP membership group where I created my own background quilting design, and I showed them how to use it using just the printout. But notice when I do this, see how it fits in those lines nice? Make sure you cut all this nice and straight, and you want to cut right up to where the edge of this line is, or right up to where the edge of your design is. So it's really a true template of the size. And you could punch a little hole or cut, like, do this thing and take your scissors and and cut right here. So you have a little opening to put your marker. That's something you could do. Or what I've done in the past is I just use this and I'll do a line, or I'll do a dot. Really, I'll do a line this way, this way, this way, like that. And then once I have those marks, I'll take my ruler and draw the crosshair like that. Then you don't have to worry about trying to cut a hole in your paper. As long as you have those marks there, you can draw the crosshair in the middle, and you can still use the corners of this paper to make your corners if you wanted to. Okay, so let me know in the chat and comments if that makes sense for y'all, that you can essentially use this as a replacement for this. The one thing is you do have to have in Brilliance to print this out, or some other software program that prints it to size, and preferably with these crosshair and marks on it. All right, now that we have this ready, we are just floating it onto our hoop. And I'm still going to use my lightweight cotton muslin as my stabilizer. If you want to use poly mesh, you can use that. Whatever works for you. And, oh, you know what we should find that would probably make life a little easier? Kimberbell has a free download of crosshairs on their website somewhere. That would probably be helpful, but I'll show you what I do as a replacement for that. Okay, so hoop your stabilizer of choice. Okay, my hoop is way too loose. There we go. Okay, hoop it. And because I'm using this strange piece here, I'm going to trim it. Okay. All right, hoop is stabilized. Now, on Kimberbell's website somewhere, there is a free design download that literally will stitch the crosshairs onto your stabilizer for you. I know it's probably somewhere on my computer, but just for time, I'm going to show you another option. If your hoops came with grids, you can take these grids and pop them into the top of the hoop after you've stabilized it and use the marker that I already lost to mark your stabilizer. And these grids have little holes in the perfect spots so that you can draw your own crosshairs. There's my ruler. So I'm going to use these dots that I did. So now I have marks on my stabilizer of right where I want to put my fabric. And I'm going to do it. I'll be doing it this way, right? Because I'll fit right in it. And then you can eyeball this. So you can add glue, or since I'm already going with the spray today, I'll stick with that. Glue or temporary adhesive spray, or you could just pin it if you don't like using adhesives. But your options are you can eyeball this, and that's usually what I do. Another little trick I was playing with the last time I did something like this was I took my ruler, I put it right on my line, and I folded it. The only thing is this gets me this line perfect, but not this line. Then I got to adjust it. But I'll take that and see, that's not right. I do better eyeballing it. But what I'll do is eyeball it, and then I'll pull up each side at a time and make sure that blue line is following that blue line. And the adhesive is forgiving so that you can pull up and lay down and pull up and lay down. Okay, that one looks right. Now let's see, that one's way off. That looks right. That looks right. That looks right. Okay. So once you get it where you want it, you're going to smooth everything out. If you want to pin it on the outside of your embroidery field that your needle's not going to hit it on accident. And then you can go to your machine, load the design, and stitch it right on top of there. And we'll remove all these marks later with water. All right, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. So I already have the design loaded on my machine. So it's going to be the same one like I showed you on my screen earlier, just the plain old 4x6 clear blue tile. It's literally just one step of that background quilting. Any questions? Okay, Vicky said she joined late. Ooh, Linda has a good thing too. Wait, this mouse does not work. Okay, so Vicky first. What is the blue deal called? So this is called a clear blue tile. It's made by Kimberbell, and it just so happens they are on sale this week on Kimberbell's website. And if you go to the first link below this video in the description box, it brings you to the home page for this sew along. And on there, I have a link to Kimberbell's daily deals when you go look down at the supply section. And you will see, let's show everybody to make life easier. Come on, mouse. Let me bring this over here. And then, okay, so y'all see my computer. Let's take this away so people can see the screen. Okay, so this is my website, carlybell.com. When you go to blog, embroidery, sew-alongs, this brings you to all my sew-alongs that I've done. And this is the home page. It tells you everything about this sew-along, the schedule that for the lives, but all the recordings are going to be here for you as well to go and watch whenever it's convenient. Right here, gather supplies, Kimberbell's deal of the week. And you can see this week they have all their scissors on sale. They have all the clear blue tiles. So this is the main set. This has, I want to say through 10 inches. And then I also have this set. This is the expansion set that has, I think, the 12 and 14 inch. And then this newest, no, that's set 2. Sorry, this is 12 and 14. And this newest set has the 10 by 16 option for the Luminaire. I don't think they've come out with one for the Avenir yet, but the Luminaire and the Solaris, these will have big old tiles to fit your machine. And then the other thing that's on sale that I'm using today, you'll see at the end of the class, are these orange pop rulers. So we looked at Amazon last class, they were $80. So on Kimberbell's website, they're on sale for like $68. So you save a few dollars. Okay, now we're going to go to the machine and have to load the design. And this is one of those cases like you don't need Embrilliance for anything unless you need it to print the design, but no editing, nothing is done as in Embrilliance. You're literally just sending the design straight from your file to your machine. I have my regular bobbin thread in. I have white thread on top. That's what I've been doing all my quilting with. And I hit set. It's going up and down. That's good. And now I want to make sure my needle is actually in the center. So I'm going to turn my little laser on. Ooh, yay. That's pretty spot on. I can move it barely a smidge down and a smidge over. No, actually just a smidge down. Now it's perfect. Yeah. Okay. But you want to make sure your needle is right in the center of your crosshairs. If you don't have the little laser light like I do, just do your needle down and see that it goes right in the crosshair. Okay. And that's how you know you've floated this right actually in the center of your hoop, and your design is going to stitch in these markings that you have. All right. So that's all I need to do. Lower the presser foot and stitch. And it's going to stitch half of those candy canes. And we'll compare it to one we've already done background quilting for and see if it looks any different. Let's see, where's my box of ones we've done already. Yeah, it's slightly different as far as orientation goes. Nope. It's the same. It's the same. It looks different. It's the orientation's a little bit different between the peppermints and the candy canes, but you are not going to be able to tell. The one way you probably would tell though is if you did a really contrasting red color for your quilting versus your background fabric, then maybe but if you're doing this for all of your blocks, it'll be consistent. My case is I did it the block by block method in one and the clear blue tile method in another. Normal people are not going to be doing that. Y'all are going to do it the same way consistently so that you shouldn't have issues with it looking different with one block compared to the other. Okay. R. Lewis says, which expansion set would you use for the bigger machines, multi-needles? It all depends on the hoop size. Like my multi-needle, the largest hoop is 8 by 12. My Stellare that you're looking at now actually has a larger hoop than my multi-needle. So I think, let me double check myself on the actual sizes in the regular pack. Okay, so the regular essentials pack only goes up to 10, right? So this one you would be missing the biggest, if you have a multi-needle machine where the largest hoop is 8 by 12, you'd be missing that 8 by 12 tile. You would have 8 by 10, which is almost good enough. But if you wanted that 8 by 12 tile, you would need the first expansion set. So the one that just says regular old expansion set. That one is going to come with, let me move this back here. Expansion set. That one comes with 12 and 14. Okay, and then let's see what expansion set 2 comes with. And that's lengths. Oh wait, I should see. What about widths? Because we only went up to 8. It still only goes up to 8 in width. But you're getting the length of 12 and 14. Expansion set 2, which is the even bigger one, they come with, then you get the 10 inch wide. You get a 10 by 10, a 10 by 12, a 10 by 14, and a 10 by 16. And then it also gives you a 4 by 16, a 6 by 16, and 8 by 16. And that's it. So the only one it looks like it doesn't have is 2 by 16. It goes 4, 6, 8, 10. And then it gives you some more 10-inch options. That is expansion set 2. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so we are done stitching the first half of our background quilting. Can you even see it? Kind of, maybe. There's a good shadow of it. Now you see it. That's the first half. Now we're going to unhoop this and rehoop it in this spot and stitch the other half, and then we're done. So once you get the hang of it, like your first one is probably going to take you a little bit of time getting the hang of things. But once you get the hang of it, you're going to be hooping and rehooping and rehooping, and you're going to have all your blocks knocked out fairly quickly. And I think I would do that. Like if I was making this whole bench pillow on a 5 by 7 hoop, I think I would knock out all the background quilting on all 7 blocks first. And then I would go and make my blocks with the design on top. Okay, so all I'm doing now is just trimming the stabilizer right up to where it's stitched, or almost like right up to where my batting line is, because I don't want any extra bulk in my seam allowance. if possible. Okay, so there we go. That is done. And I did a pretty dang good job getting this right within my batting like I wanted. I probably could have moved it over a smidge this way because the candy cane's touching on this side. Okie dokie. Done with that. Now, if I want to keep this the same orientation, I'm going to hoop it this way. If I hooped it this way, it would be, it might look funny because I might get like two candy canes right next to each other right here because this is a candy cane and I think one would stitch here. So I'm going to keep it the same orientation, and I think that's going to help alternate things because then a peppermint will be here and a candy cane will be here. There's a peppermint here, so kind of alternate. And we need to rehoop stabilizer. Trish, I want some cold pizza. I never ate lunch yet. I just had a Cliff Bar right before this class started. Oop, there goes my scissors. Okay. All right. Hoop stabilizer. Again, if you're tuning in late, I have discovered that, well, someone told me, I didn't discover this. Lightweight cotton muslin works great as a stabilizer substitute for these Kimberbell projects, and it saves you a lot of money on stabilizer. The stabilizer that is suggested for this project is no-show poly mesh cutaway, which is like a very lightweight see-through cutaway. All right, that is there. What do I need? My grid. Pop that in. And funny thing with grids, it does make a difference, the orientation that you have it, or if it's upside down and backwards and all that, it does make a difference. So make sure your ABC is where you can read it, and it's on the bottom right corner. It may not be like that with all hoops, but I know for sure my 5x7 hoop on my PE 800 or PE 700, if I had this wrong, my crosshairs were slightly not in the right spot. Okay, got that. Spray, same orientation, and I just eyeball it, and then I lift each side of my arrow and make sure those blue lines are really going where I want, and it looks good. I got that spray adhesive on there, so I'm just holding that in place. We'll go back to the machine and stitch that same step again. Okay, and I'm going to double check my laser is going right in the center, and it's, again, just a smidge off. So now it's right there. And lower and stitch. And now, even if I did this in a contrasting color, you would not be able to tell that this was done in two hoopings. These two designs flow right next to each other beautifully, and the spacing in between them is so minuscule that it looks like it was all done in one hooping. It's very forgiving. All right. Now, this is going to be the next tricky part. I think it will be fine. Let's look at it. I'm worried about, I'm thinking about, remember when we did the other blocks, when we opened them in Brilliance, we had to, we opened up the background quilting first, then we opened the design so it would stitch on top, and we had to move the house or cocoa stand or street lamps down so that the floor was actually going to be the bottom of the block. These blocks fill up the whole 5x7 hoop, so it might not be a problem. Okay, let's see. Loretta said, I had a time with the cocoa stand block, had to split stand. Oh, Loretta, you have the 4x4 machine, if I'm remembering correctly. Had to split the stand plants and snowflakes into different piles. Too big for the 4x7 multi-positional hoop. Okay, so Loretta is our friend. She did the Candy Corn Quilt Shop stitch along with us as well. And she has a Brother, I think, machine that the largest hoop size is 4x4. So these projects state that it's for 5x7 and bigger, but Loretta has found a way, and I love it. And we talked about it with some of the bigger hoops in the previous quilt, where you can split them up. But yeah, I trust you that it was probably not a fun time to get that all hooped and right. Okay, so can y'all see? Oh, you can see there, right? So if these blue lines weren't there, would y'all really be able to tell I did that in 2 hoopings? I don't think so. I think that looks good. All right, so we are done now with our background quilting. Here we go. So a little harder to see on this camera. The lighting by the window, you could see it better. But isn't that nice? Nice, nice. Okie dokie. So unhoop that and trim. I lost my scissors. Story of my life. There we go. And get all that trimmed. And now we have our pre-quilted background fabric. And now all we need to do is stitch the actual applique of the red house. And probably wouldn't hurt to press this a little bit. Let me plug my iron in and give it a second. So it probably wouldn't hurt to press it. And if I'm pressing it, no, I'll wait to wet it. Nope, I'm going to do it. I'll remove these marks. The problem with these, oh, no. I know what I should have done. Damn it. This is, when you start spraying this, it doesn't stop. It came off pretty good. The thing you have to watch, though, and I'm going to be guilty of this in a second, is when you get this off with water, you don't want to add heat right away because the heat might make the ink come back. What I should have done is use my tide pin. Another really quick way to get those marks off of your fabric without soaking it is a tide pin. Tide pin, let's do it somewhere else, like right here. So there is my blue mark. Just with barely anything, the tide pin gets it to come off. This is what I use like on shirts. Like if I embroider a shirt and I made marks on it, when it's done, and if you know me, I am like making, say, a birthday kid shirt. I'm making it right before I have to go to the birthday party. So it's like I don't have time to wet it and let it dry. I use the Tide pen to get my marks off, and then it's ready to go. All right, this is a bit damp now. So we're going to be adventurous and see if the marks come back when I iron it. Yep, look right there. There's one. Let's see. I can make it, yep, make it go away with the Tide pen and see if it comes back. I could also maybe iron from this side. Well, you could see the marks on the stabilizer still. I didn't wet those. But I've heard that you have to be careful with water-soluble markers because you can almost set them with heat and then they won't go away. That's good enough. All right. See the little guy there. All right. So once you have your background fabric pre-quilted and ready to go, your next step is you're going to fold this in a way so that when you add it and we're going to float it again on the 5x7 hoop, it's going to go right in the spot where the bottom of the house is going to end up stitching right at the bottom of where your batting is. And that is the bottom of the block when it's sewn together. Does that make sense? Karen says, the machine that you are using, did I get it from Sewing Machines Plus? Yes. So this is my Brother Stellaire XJ2. So it's a newer version of the Stellaire, and it is the sewing and embroidery combo machine. I will warn you though, I think they are out of stock at Sewing Machines Plus right now with this machine. Like some of the bigger machines they were out of stock of recently. But yeah, I did get it from Sewing Machines Plus. Okay, what are we doing? We are hooping stabilizer again. So I'm going to put this to the side. Get the 5x7 hoop again. So this is going to be the last hooping. We're going to, all the rest of the steps are going to get done on this. Ooh, I'll be cutting it very close. This is like barely wide. Let's see if I can make it. Oh yeah, we got this. So normally, especially when you're doing a shirt, be very careful with like if you hoop a shirt or a garment or blank, whatever the case may be. If you're actually hooping something, the pulling bit might distort your project and how it stitches. For me, this is just stabilizer, so it doesn't matter. So y'all see me doing this, but be careful on doing it on other things. Know what I mean? Okay. I have scraps of muslin now. Okay, this is done. Now, how we did the placement line earlier, you technically don't need to do that with this because the first couple steps of the design are going to stitch you placement marks. It's actually the first step of the design stitches you a placement mark. And then the second step of the design is a basting stitch. So we're going to go to the machine and stitch the first design, but I'm going to show you what we got to do before that. Once that is stitched. First, you want to fold your background fabric in half, like this. And I know I did it good because I got these blue lines still on my stabilizer and they're right in the middle. All right, fold that in half. Then you want to fold the bottom an inch up. And I'm almost positive that is right where the batting is, right before the batting. Yep. So you want to fold that up like this. This is the only preparation you need to do before you float. I had clips somewhere. I was going to clip this. Here we go. Just until we're ready. So I'm going to have this ready like that on the side. We're going to go to the machine. We're going to stitch the first step. Doesn't matter what color you stitch it in. It's going to get covered up. It's just a placement stitch. And that placement stitch is going to show me right where to line this up at the center and the bottom. And once I know that it's in the right spot, I'm going to unfold it and it will be where it needs to be. We're going to add some spray adhesive to this too after the placement stitch. That placement stitch. Okay, so I have white thread on now, and that's going to be too hard to see. So let's do green for fun so everyone can see it. Okay, that's done. Put my hoop on, and I need to load the design. Red house. Now, on your machine, depending on what brand you have, you should have something that shows you the bottom of the design, like where the actual bottom of the house is going to stitch. But I won't know that until I stitch. Let's stitch the first placement line first. No. Let me go where the bottom of the design is. And I'm going to lower my needle and make a puncture mark. And I'm going to go back to the center. I can't barely see where the puncture mark was. Okay. So, yeah, that should be right. Okay, so we don't need to move the design like we did when we did it in a 6x10 hoop. We had to move it so that it was sat at the bottom. This time we don't have to do that. All right, so we're going to stitch the first step, which shows us where to put our fabric. And it's just a line at the bottom with a little tick mark in the center. And that's it. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, just that line, and I got a little tick mark in the center. All right, let's go back to the table now. And see that line? Tail. Okay. This is going to get covered up. First, I'm going to do some spray adhesive. And I'm going to take my quilted fabric that I folded in half and folded up at the bottom 1 inch. And it's going to sit right on the bottom and then on this tick line that they have there. And that's it. I wish they had more of a line going up just to make sure that I do really have it going up the center. But that's all you should have to do. Put that there, and now I can undo my clips. Fold that down. And fold that over. And I'll just smooth it out. Now my background fabric should be where the house is going to stitch at the bottom and center. Let me know if that makes sense. Please repeat what fabric you're using instead of stabilizer. It is lightweight cotton muslin. You can, I got this at Walmart. They sell it by like a 2 or 3 yard package at Walmart. You can also buy it on Amazon. I've bought both. Both work well. Okay, so this is right where I want it to be. So we are ready now to stitch the red house just like any other applique design. And the first step is the basting stitch. So if you remember last class, we skipped that placement step in this basting stitch because we didn't need it, because we did our background quilting and the design all in one hooping. But for this one, this is where you need it if you're stitching them separately, the background quilting and separate hoopings and then the design. All right, I am loading my water soluble thread, and that's what I'm going to use as my basting stitch, so it's super easy to take out when we're done stitching this block. And let that stitch. And then I have not looked ahead to see what the steps are. My little narrator is not here with me. She did a good job on Monday. I was really proud of her. Every other time she's came and done a video with me, she acts a fool. But she's getting older. All right. Okay. The next step is the red bottom bit of the house, and I have not picked my fabric for that yet. So I'm looking ahead to. All right, take the water soluble thread off. Don't need that anymore. And all of our applique work today is satin stitching. So anything I use for tack down, we're not going to see. So what I like to do is look ahead. So like first is applique of the bottom of the house, then applique the top of the house, then applique the door. Oh, the like door frame, then applique the door. Then the windows. Oh, we put white fabric on top. Okay. Then the windows. Then it stitches the house satin outline, which will be in red thread. So I'm going to do all of these steps in red thread. Just one less thread change I have to do. And then y'all will see everything nicely. All right, so this is my red thread. I was also thinking for this block, since I don't have my fabric prepped and ready, let's just go ahead and use Heat and Bond Light on the back instead of interfacing. All right, so this is a placement step. This shows me how big of a piece of fabric I need. So this will also show you, like, usually I have all my fabric pre-cut and ready to go and interfaced. I don't today. And there's lots of times I do projects where I don't have everything prepped and ready. So you'll see my process where I stitch the placement line, then I go cut the piece of fabric so it's a little bit bigger. And I'll add Heat and Bond Light on the back of it, or if you want to add the interfacing, you can do that. Either one is good. All right, so here are my fabric options. Y'all tell me and vote in the chat which one you like the best. Okay, the bottom of the house is red. I'm thinking, so on the example, it's very much, I don't have a good close-up picture. Maybe if we, I think in this one, let's see. Here you can see a more close-up picture. That's the finished block with the Kimberbell fabric. So they really just have a solid red and a solid peach. I couldn't find a solid peach. I think I have solid red, but it's like very maroony. It's not red. Oh wait, no, I have solid red. Okay. So should I do plain old solid red for the house and this peachy with a little bit of polka dot to it for the roof. I think that looks good. I think that's better than trying to do a pattern with a pattern, maybe. This is Kimberbell fabric, but not the fabric they use for this step. I think I like this. Tell me in the, oh, I can't see the chat. Tell me in the chat if y'all like this fabric combination or I should use one of these different reds instead. I got like a grid, star, X's, dashes. These are like star bursts. And then this is almost like floral looking. I think I'm going to stick with this. All right, so once you pick your fabric, that so the red is going to be for the house and the peach is going to be for the roof. Yeah, okay. Once you have your placement stitch, seeing how big of a piece of fabric you need, normally what I do is I'll take my fabric, usually I just have scraps like this, and I will lay it on top and I'll cut it. This is perfect, like wider than what I need. And I'll usually do like a little snip to mark it. And then I'll do it a little bit taller than what I need, like that. And once I have my 2 snips, I just cut and make my square, rectangle, whatever it is. Just cut straight line that way and straight that way. All right, my iron is on. Yes. Okay, so, but I need to iron this and I'm gonna add heat and bond light. The thing about the 2 things I'm talking about to iron to the back, if you haven't heard me talk about this before, heat and bond light almost creates a double-sided adhesive for your fabric so that it's like a paper backing. So, and this is the adhesive side. I would iron it on this side, iron it, and then you peel the paper backing off, and now your fabric is fusible, and then I can iron it after I have it the shape and size and stitched in place. I can iron it, and now it becomes more fused with the background. But my other option, and what I've been using for everything else, I probably should be consistent, is the Pellon SF101 interfacing. This has a woven cotton side and an adhesive side. So we would iron this on the back of this fabric, and then that's it. We would just use this fabric as applique. There's no extra adhesion happening, but it does stiffen the fabric and it prevents from things showing through, because like this red fabric is very thin and you can almost see the gray polka dot design through it by itself. And I don't think the heat and bond light is going to really prevent that. So I might stick with interfacing. Yeah. All right. Loretta had a question. Is there a way to delete partial? For example, the snowflakes. I tried to ungroup, but that did nothing. I've been deleting by color. So if you have enthusiast, you can select elements of a design and like either copy and paste them or delete them altogether, no matter what color step they're in. If they're in different color steps, so that they have some of the color step over here and some over here, but you just want to delete this part, Enthusiast allows you to do that easily. There is a way, however, to do it in Essentials as well. And I can show you that once these satin stitches start and we're just waiting for it to finish, we can go in Embrilliance and I can show you that. All right. I am going to cut a piece of interfacing. And with this, I do kind of want to make sure these scissors suck. slightly smaller than my fabric. I do the same thing with Heat and Bond Light. Like I cut it to where it is, because I don't want it to wear, because there is adhesive on this side. And if I iron from this side, I don't want all that adhesive to get stuck from my mat. And if I iron this way, I don't want that adhesive to get on the bottom of my iron. Okay. And always make sure the adhesive side is going towards the fabric. And you're putting this on the wrong side of the fabric. I can't really tell what's the wrong side with this red one. So now, let me do this side too. We are ready to go finish this applique step. Oh, it shrunk a little bit. Oh, this is that polyester fabric that I don't like. I just remembered. Dang it. I don't think I have any other red plain fabric either. Yeah, this as I'm ironing it, it shrinks. That polyester what you call mixed poly cotton fabric. You have, like when I do get fabric from Walmart, like if I just need something super plain, they have a poly cotton section and then they have a 100% cotton section. Get the 100% cotton. Yeah, I'm not going to use this. Do I have any more red? That is cotton. Okay, we need to pick another color now. I have this. This red is nice. And it's got like almost a honeycomb dot pattern. Is that too much dots? What do you think? Okay, let me look and see if I got a solid peach. What box would peach be in? Oh, I have this peach. I wonder if I have any. Yeah, I got a fat quarter left. This is kind of orangey peach. How about that? Okay. Do we want polka dot with red? Or this is almost like herringbone with red. I think I like the polka dot better. I really like this fabric. Tell me what y'all think. This is why I'm supposed to have my stuff picked out ahead of time, because then I make everything take longer. All right, I quit. We're doing this. And okay, restart. I know this is cotton. This is really cute fabric. I can't tell you where it's from now. I know where I got it from, but that store closed. I can't tell you the designer, but I love this. I got this in a whole bunch of colors. Yeah, the dots. Okay. I cut that very sideways, but it's still big enough. Oh wait, here we go. Now, this fabric's not going to shrink. Yeah, that red fabric, that was like literally probably some of the first fabric I bought when I started embroidery, like 13 years ago. And that's why I still have some, because it's no good. I need to throw it out. I don't think there's anything I'll use it for if I can't iron it. Okay. Interfacing. Wrong side. Adhesive goes to the wrong side. Okay. Trish wants to know, what does the finished product look like again? You want to see the Kimberbell version? This is Kimberbell's version. They did just solids, I think. That's what it looks like. And should have had some of that peach solid left over from, no, that's glitter. I can't see from here. The iron in the Oh So Delightful quilt, I think, is that peach fabric. Oh, what did I do? Here we go. All right, so this is ready. Let's get back to work. All right, so now we can go lay this on top of here. It'll do the tack down stitch and we'll trim. Oh wait, I gotta change the camera. Okay. All right, so just make sure your fabric covers up your placement stitch fully. And it's going to do the same exact step before. And now we're tacking down the fabric. What I'm going to do super quickly, oh, now who's calling? Oh, that's my cousin. Where are my scissors? Ooh. I'm going to have some words with my little girls if my scissors are missing. Where are my scissors? Both of my good applique scissors are not in the spot where they're supposed to be. These are my not so good ones. All right, what I'm gonna do real quick is just trim the top of this, if these scissors allow me. They do not want to. Okay. These scissors are also like 13 years old and never been sharpened. That's why they're just used for thread now. Okay, I just trimmed the top. The next step is the placement for the roof. So my thought process is, I just want to go back to my craft table one time where I can trim this and then cut my piece for this. But my applique scissors are not there. Trying to see if they're anywhere else on my table. No, they're supposed to be in this little turny thing that I have. This is my little turny thing. And all my scissors. Ah, I found one pair. Okay. Now, maybe they won't get in as bad a trouble, but I still got a pair missing. Oh, no, they're not in there. I don't know where they are. Okay. We have our house tacked down. And we're going to trim right close to the stitch line. This raw edge is going to get covered up with a satin stitch later. All right, how are we doing on time? Decent. All right, so that is done. And now I love this fabric too. We can't see who made this either. Okay, and first I'll snip it a little bit wider, and then that height looks good. Let me go. You like these fabric choices better? Yeah, I think I do too. Yeah, that's gonna look cute. All right. That should be good enough. I do it this way. All right, so now this is ready, and we'll go and do the tack down stitch for this. Nope, that's not what I want. This is what I want. Okay. All right, and that is in place. And now we tack it down. I think I need one more piece for the door frame. It's going to be in the peach color. All right, and next step is to trim this. But while I'm at the machine, I'm going to go ahead and stitch the placement stitch for the door frame so I can get that piece cut while we're at the craft table. Okay, so there's the roof. Yeah, I think I do really like the interfacing on the applique fabric for these quilted projects more than the Heat and Bond Light. It just makes them nice and smooth. On top of the background quilting, you know. Okay, that is done. Should have cut a piece a little bit bigger. All right. It's tall enough. Okay. That's for my door frame. And I actually already have the piece cut for the door, maybe. I think. Okay. Let me check. Yeah, I have this piece already cut and interfaced, but I think I need more of this for the windows. So let me check. All right, so we already have the placement stitch for the door frame, so I'm going to cover that and tack it down. And then next is the door. To be honest, I don't need a placement stitch showing me where to put this fabric because it's right on top of that. So I'm going to skip the next stitch, which is the placement for the actual door. And now we're on the tack down for the door. That's going right on top of there. This one is important to have SF101 because it definitely would see the polka dots of the peach through that white fabric. And next is the placement for the windows. See if I can just get the top bit of this fabric out of the way so the windows don't catch it on accident. Oh, these scissors are horrible. Okay. And now we're going to stitch the placement for the windows. And I don't know if I have any more of that fabric. I have to use something else. You know what looks like would work is muslin. Almost the same creamy color. Let's see. Okay. All right, so we have, see, I kind of did both of these at the same time so that I can just trim them at once. So there's the door. I remember cutting two pieces of this fabric, but I thought one was for this block and one was for another block. Maybe they were both for this block and I put it in the wrong envelope. Okay. So now we got building, the roof, the door frame, the door. And now we need to cover these 3 pieces of window. Let me go back and look at oh, it's a white. I never picked a white fabric yet. It is actually a different fabric. They had like a white herringbone. I'll use this pretty white fabric I've been using for this quilt I'm putting together. It almost looks like a white linen. Can you see that? It's going to be pretty. But I just cut all the pieces I need for that quilt project. So I will use this now. And I got selvage, so make sure that doesn't get into it. And that should be good. Okay. So press and interface. And I think this is going to be our last piece of applique. Yeah, Linda, I was thinking I had to match that beigey color of the door with the same fabric, but I just remembered I never even got to the white portions of my fabric cutting when I was doing my prep work. So this will be everything that's white, that white houndstooth, and that would have came with the fabric kit. There's windows for all 3 houses. I'll use the same white fabric. So now this will cover that, and it will tack down, and we will trim. And then I think we're done with applique for the most part. I think we got some specialty glitter applique and even some clear vinyl applique we're going to do. So once these windows are tacked down and trimmed, then we have a red satin stitch for the house. Then we have a white stitch for the eave detail. Then we go back to red for the satin outline. Then we are going to stitch the clear vinyl on top of the windows, trim, and then trim stitch and roof outline. There's lots of details. But there's going to be like some glittery white snow on the roof with glitter HTV. And then the candy cane is done with glitter and HTV, just like we did in the lamppost. So all right, now that is ready to trim. I see some blue spots coming back up. I'll have to get later from the marking pen. Okay, so we are all done with the main appliques for the house. Okay. Just getting those little blue marks I see coming back. All right, so now we have some satin stitching. Hello, Lacey. You hungry? You got your macaroni and cheese in the refrigerator in that container. You could just put it in the microwave for 1 minute. Okay, so red satin stitching. This is the outline of the house. Yeah. So that is going to take 4 minutes. While that is stitching, let me clean up my mess a little bit, and we can go do the stuff that Loretta was asking about in Brilliance. And it's fairly basic. It's creating color stops is what we're going to do. Just put do like this, where just leave it like that, where it's got like a little opening, and then you don't have to use this. Okay. Okay. Do you want to open up the advent calendar presents? Yeah? Okay. Well, come see me when you're done eating. All right. Okay, I'll make some noise for a second. I got my little mini vacuum. Vacuum up all these little thread pieces. Now, this is my little mini vacuum I got off of Amazon. When I bought it, I was hoping I could actually put it in my sewing machine, but the tip is too big for the bottom case. But it's good for cleaning up my table. All right, we are now going to talk about separating stuff in Brilliance. Why are you not working? There we go. Okay. So here is the design. Are there no snowflakes in this one? There's no snowflakes in this one. Let's go find the cocoa stand. Here's the cocoa stand design. That one has snowflakes. Okay, let's make this in a smaller hoop just to see it a little closer. All right, so I think this is the bit that Loretta was talking about. Now, for her, depending on her hoop, she has the 4x4 machine or a 4x7 multi-positionable hoop where it will split. And this is too big for that multi-positionable hoop. The height is okay, but it's the width. So didn't we talk last time, Loretta, about if you do it consistently, you would make each block a little bit skinnier. You would distort each one, but it would be consistent. Did you already make some? Do you want to see that, or you just want to see separating things? Because watch, what I'm going to do is open a new page, make it Loretta's multi-position hoop. So this is her multi-position hoop, and this is the design. You see that the height is okay, but I would have to, and then your overall pillow would be Nah, this would be distorting it too much. Your overall pillow would be smaller. And this would work. That's one. It's not the best option, but that is an option. Your other option is separating things where you stitch the hot cocoa stand in one hooping, stitch the tree in one hooping, and then you could probably stitch the snowflakes in another hooping. But say you wanted to stitch these two snowflakes in one and try to put maybe this snowflake in with the hot cocoa stand. So let's talk about that. So if we look at the snowflakes, all three of them stitch in the same step. So she can't just like take this and copy and paste it and put it in a new hoop if she just wants these two snowflakes in one hooping. Or she could do these two snowflakes in this in one hooping and then this and this in one hooping. That would work with your hoop. Yes. So we want to separate these snowflakes. So the best way to do that, if you don't have enthusiasts, is, wait, let me go see what's the next step on the machine. Oh, it's just white. So I'm just changing satin stitches done. I'm changing the thread to white on my machine and let it stitch the next step while we're talking. Okay. All right. Back to the computer. If you only have essentials and don't have enthusiasts, there is a way to do this, and that's called creating a color stop. So you're going to go to the Stitch Simulator button. You see here when I hover over it, it shows you what the name of it is. Click that. All right, and here's a little slidey bar, and it will stitch out your design. No matter, like if you're going backwards, forward, it's going however you move it across here, right? So I'm going to go all the way to the white because that's it right there. That's that snowflake. So I am going to slowly move this until I see the spot where it's done stitching this snowflake and it's ready to move to the next one. So I'm just moving slowly until I get, oh, there we go. And now it's kind of hard to move back and forth that precisely, but you have these arrows here. This will move back one stitch at a time. So I want it to be the last stitch of this snowflake. You see how my cursor went from over here to here? That is the last stitch of that snowflake. So from where this white begins to where that bar is now is what I want to separate. So I'm going to hit the stop button, and that creates a color stop. And what it's doing is it's telling it, okay, I want to separate this design right here where I have it, where the cursor is now, and I want everything after this to be a different color. And even though you're going to still stitch out those other snowflakes in white, your machine thinks it's a different color. And this allows you to separate it. So now I can grab just this snowflake and then all the pieces to the stand and stitch that in one hooping. And then I can grab these two snowflakes and all the pieces to the tree, and she could stitch that in another hooping without having to distort everything. So like I could delete this. All right, this is the one we were working with. And either I can draw and try to select all that. No, it doesn't let me, huh? Oh wait, I need to be on the select tool. No, it's probably this outline is getting in my way. Let me delete that and delete that. And now, no, it still doesn't want me to do that. Okay, well, you would go and select all these steps. So let me see. I want it to stop here. So I need all of these. And I still need the hot cocoa and the 25 cents and that one snowflake. That's all the pieces that's on this side. And I would go to copy, and then I would go to paste. And now she could fit that in her multi-positionable hoop. and save it. And when she saves it, it will split the design for her automatically. And she will stitch this out in 2 4x4 hoopings. All right, let me know if that helps you, Loretta. But yeah, the color stop trick works in all kinds of good ways. The thing that makes enthusiasts a little better and easier is this is the button you get with enthusiasts. I can just go and draw something around this, and I can click split the stitches into a new design, and now this design is on its own. I'll go back to here. So now I've separated all 3 stars. So that star's by itself, that star's by itself, that star's by itself. Okay, so we have stitched the red satin stitch, the white detail. Next is the window. What color is it? Back to red. Okay, so this is satin stitch window outline. When this is done, we'll place that clear vinyl on top. So we're going to need our clear vinyl from our embellishment kit if you have it. If you don't have the embellishment kit, you could really skip this step altogether. Or if you just so happen to have clear vinyl, which you can buy at like Hobby Lobby from other projects, just use what you have. I cannot find, there it is. It's clear, so it's hard to see. Clear vinyl. I will put right there. And I think we also are going to need red glitter, and I think snow glitter. It's the white glitter. I need the white glitter too. This glitter. I'll put those out. Loretta, I was thinking when I first looked at it, I was thinking 3 hoopings too. But now that we've done it, you can do the hot cocoa stand and 1 snowflake as 1 hooping, and then make another. And then now select this. I don't know why it's going way over there. Let me do it individually. We need this. And I'm just holding down the control or command key on my computer as I'm selecting these. This, that one, and that one. So all of those. And then I would go to copy, paste. And then you can hit right here, center in the hoop. There we go. And then this one I think is already centered. Center. Oh, it wasn't quite. Okay. Yeah, so between this one and this one. And so what is your plan for the house? You could do the house in one and the candy cane in a different one. Does that fit? Let's see. Where do we stop? Where does the candy cane start? I think that's all the house. Let me copy, paste, center. Yep, it fits. See, I don't have that red highlight there, so you should be able to do the house in one. The only tricky thing is you're splitting an applique, more than likely, because this is probably right on the line. It might not split it. You move this house as far down as you can without it being out the hoop. Then it shouldn't have to split this rectangle bit of the bottom part of the house. It should work. All right, any other questions while we're waiting for things to stitch and we're waiting for Elise to come open my presents? So the rest of this is really just going to be stitching. So we'll do this as long as I have before I have to leave to go get Abigail. Like I said, if we don't finish, we'll finish on Friday. No problem. This is fun for me, Loretta, figuring this out with you so that you can stitch this on your machine. Like it's possible. We can make it work. If y'all watch my stories, I don't post often, but on Instagram and Facebook, you know how they have the little stories. I posted, I think it was yesterday. I think I showed y'all this before. I'm working on this quilted table runner, and I cut all of my little squares. And yesterday, I sewed my half square triangles, and yesterday I started trimming all my little half square triangles, and it's very much a one at a time process. And I was like, can there be a quicker way? But there's really not a quicker way. So I still have these all left to trim. But it's coming along. We'll see how it goes when I actually start to piece it together. But I was playing with how the block is really going to look. So with this one, this example, and my whites. So, oh, and we need the solids for this one. It's going to look like this. And I was telling Elise my shirt idea. I think I might have said this when we were live on Monday. I wanted to make myself a sweatshirt and actually sew some quilted blocks on the sweatshirt and then embroider it saying I still like to play with blocks. And she just thought that was the silliest, not cool thing at all. This is what the little blocks are going to look like once I piece this together. So we'll see how good of a job I do at getting these points. I think this is a little more forgiving block than maybe others. But like, you know, this is where these two meet up. I'm hoping that it's a little more forgiving if my points aren't perfect. All right, let's see what's next. Oh, now, and let's see, I probably want white thread. We're gonna stitch the vinyl. So I'm gonna change from red, go to white. You don't have any placement stitch for this because the windows are already there. So you're just going to take your vinyl and cover your windows with it. And then you trim it just like an applique when you're done. Let me pause it because they got a tail. It's going to get all caught up. Yeah, so it's just tacking this vinyl down and then we trim it just like an applique. It's so cute. All right, so let that happen. And let's see. Trish said there are rulers that make trimming triangles faster and easier. I have the block rulers for flying geese. I think Block makes half square triangle rulers as well, but I think it's still the same like kind of long process, right? Of like, for instance, let me trim a couple and you tell me if the way I'm doing it could be better. So I got my little ruler. I got this. I got my rotary blade with the blade on the right side now. Thanks to Joanna, who noticed on Monday, I put my blade on this side, and that's why I was having trouble. So I talked to her earlier today in my class before this, and I was like, "Thank you so much," because I would have been driving myself crazy. I'm like, I knew something was wrong. Okay, got that. I line up the center here, and I'm not so much worrying that this line lines up, as long as the fabric goes below what I want, and then I turn it. Now I make sure it lines up on the two, and the diagonal. So that's how I've been doing it. And I've gotten, I guess, a little bit quicker, but it's still like, it's one at a time. So tell me if I can be doing that better. All right, we are done packing down the vinyl. Isn't that cute? So now we got to trim it. Okay. And I'm wondering if I should use my not so great scissors instead of my good scissors with this vinyl. Yeah, this cuts it still. All right, so this vinyl you're trimming just like an applique. Just get a bit close to that stitch line. And we're going to go around the outside first and then go in and get the spaces in between the windows. Yeah, this worked out good. These are my not great scissors. I'm not messing up my good fabric snips, but these are cutting that vinyl okay. Doesn't want to cut fabric though. Okay, so vinyl trimmed. Now I gotta get in the spaces between the windows. Okay. All right, so that is done, and that just gives you that really, cute embellishment that Kimberbell is known for. All right, next. We need the pink color. I think pink color is the one color that I have that is matches what Kimberbell uses in the thread kit, and I never used it yet. This is Glide thread, and it's taffy. I lost my scissors. Left them over here. Don't mix them up. That's the good ones. These are the old ones. All right, we got still got like 6 minutes of stitching with this color. Just get this tail. Okay. All right, so where's all my quilty friends? What suggestions y'all have for me? You can get clearly perfect slotted A and B rulers. You trim before you press them open. Okay. All right, so make it easier. Let's see. I don't know about other people, but I like the clearly perfect slotted trimmer for my half square triangles. Okay, so tell me this. What I did, the method I did was, I just use a different charm pack piece. I took 2, 5. Let's get this out of the way. All right, so I made 8 half square triangles in one go. I took 2 5-inch pieces, put them right side together. I did learn about this ruler, and I did this, and I just used a pencil to draw on either side the ruler. And then I did it on this side too. Then I pinned it. I went to my sewing machine and I sewed on each one of these lines. So I sewed on this one, sewed on this one, sewed on this one, sewed on this one. And when I was done, I just used this ruler to cut down the middle, across, and then in between these lines here on this X. And I cut that. And that gave me my 8 half square triangles. So are you telling me there's a ruler to use to cut all that bit to make it easier, or I still do all that the way I was doing it and then there's another ruler I use? Let me know. I need to change the bobbin. I hate when the bobbin runs out. Luckily, we were not in the middle of a satin stitch though. So I'm going to hit cut. And take my bobbin. And I saved mine. I got a new bobbin. Make sure it's feeding off, turning counterclockwise. Drop it in. Run it through the path. I like to pull a good 12 inches through to make sure I set the bobbin correctly. And I got lucky that I wasn't in the middle of a satin stitch, but if I was, it's not the end of the world. And I back up about 10 to 30 stitches so that I have some overlap between where I cut and where I start again, and it'll lock in those stitches. So back up. and okay, and lower, and go. My needle's still threaded, yeah? Okay. All right. Now let's see what my quilty friends are going to teach me. Because this what I'm doing here is actually my first, I would say, true quilting project that I'm doing the traditional way and not using an embroidery machine. Okay, so quilts, so Trish says you still do that. And then you use the ruler to trim them to the right size before you press them open. Okay, got it. So once I have those little tiny, still folded half square triangles, I use this ruler, and then I'm only trimming 2 cuts instead of me doing 2 cuts and then turning it and another 2 cuts. And I don't open them before I trim them. Got it. Thank y'all. All right, I'm going on Amazon right now and looking up Clearly Perfect trimmers. Y'all want to go shopping together? Let's go shopping. Do I look on Amazon or should I buy them from somewhere else? Y'all tell me. Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer for quilting. Oh, this is fancy. Okay, let me put this on my screen over here so everyone else can see. I love shopping people with other people's money. Trish, you're awesome. Oh. Okay, so I have one of these already. The straight line one. I have that. So Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer A2 B2. Is this what I want? Why is everything so expensive? Yeah. Okay. Everything I look at is like, sticker shock. Okay, we did the peachy pink on the roof, and now we're doing it again around the door frame. Okay, back to shopping. This one. Okay, so Trish says, I need the A and B. One is for the whole number increments, and the other is for half. There are other sizes, but these will do you for a while. Let's see. Linda says, love watching others spend money too. I reached out so much this weekend. Someone is going to reach out and slap my hand if I buy more. Oh, girl. Amazon, all the companies are coming to my house every single day. I saw the funniest little video on Instagram the other day where a woman answering the door every time the package comes, and she's like talking loudly to the delivery man. Oh no, this is for the neighbor's house. This isn't for us. And she's like, still give me the package, and she takes it. Or it's just so funny, like all the ways she's trying to not make her husband aware of all the packages that are really getting delivered. Mine are free, Joanna. Oh, Paul is like, you want to talk about sticker shock? She just bought a 10 needle. That is the Mac Daddy of sticker shock. Yes. All right. So I am looking at these. So these are not, oh, these are still Clearly Perfect. Okay. But I see this is C. This is D. This is A2, B2. And I need both of these. And that would be 56, $58. And that's what that costs. So might as well get that. And then look, purchased. That says view, but I purchased it. I think, no, I got it mine from Sewing Machines Plus. Ooh, what are these? No, that's different. Okay. No, I don't need that. That's too much. Okay. All right. These better not have been on sale on Cyber Monday or Black Friday, and I could have saved more money. But yay. Okay. Oh, this is fancy. I like this. All right. Thank y'all for helping me spend my money. I appreciate it. My husband, not so much, but I do. All right, we're done. Now we need white thread for the outline of the door. And all right, I'm gonna make sure I'm doing the right thing. Oh, I was supposed to be tan, not white. Do I have a tan? Yes. Yeah, because that door is a little more creamy colored. Should do this color. Cut. And I'll just back up and restitch over that area. It's going to get covered up. Okay, now I'm stitching with the right color. Okay, that's the door. And then we'll go back to red for the door detail. I'll get red next, and then we'll go back to white. Then we'll stitch the placement line for the white glitter and tack that down. And then the rest is just red and white. Okay. How are we doing on time? Hopefully we'll get the rest of this stitched. Everything else is only like 2 minutes. The last step is 4 minutes. So we should get this done. We probably just won't have it trimmed before I have to leave. Let's see. Wait, no, Joanna, you don't need to do that. Thank you. Oh, I see everybody's like, Carly, wait, stop, no bye. Okay, can you hear me now? Sorry. Batteries went out and I gotta go find more batteries. But in the meantime, let me go change the thread color so I'm staying up. But y'all won't hear me standing by my machine because I'm talking to you. The computer's what's catching my sound now. Oh, and now Ozzy's barking. Okay, so that's the white the front porch door frame detail. That's stitching. I'm gonna go in the next room and get some batteries and take care of my dog who's running at all times. Step on the stairs. I'll say you can come open the presents. Okay, I am back. I still need to make that. And okie dokie, please let me know if you hear me. Now I'm back on my microphone. All right, so we just finished stitching this white detail here. Now it's going to stitch the placement line for the snow on the roof. And that is going to be done with this white glitter. So I need to turn on my mini iron because we're going to iron that in the hoop. Let's see. Okay, so that's the snow. And if you haven't used Glitter HTV for applique before, it's really fun and it's simple. You're going to cut it to the size you need, just like applique fabric. So I need about this much. Just need a little piece. But there's one thing you have to do with it, and that is this stuff comes with a clear plastic sheet on top. And before you actually use it, tack it down, you want to remove this clear plastic sheet like that. And now I'm going to lay this here right on top of that placement line. And I'm going to get my stiletto and hold it. You could also just tape it into place. And this is going to be, I think there's some decorative stitching that's going to go on top of it to cover the raw edge. But a lot of times with Glitter HTV, it might just be a bean stitch. I know for the candy cane, it will be a bean stitch. Okay. And now we will go trim that. And hopefully y'all heard all that stuff. Okay, good. Crap. Okay, so here's the little snow on the roof applique, and we use the glitter. Super cute. And this stuff is easy to trim. It's very thin, and I don't find it messes up my fabric scissors, so I'm just going to use them. Oh, my dog is back. Every time I go to, like, I went out to grab him, he wants to either lay on the sofa or lay in Abigail's bed. And I go, and we've really messed him up now because I told y'all he's scared of the floor. Like, he doesn't like to walk on the floor. We put the Christmas tree right in the pathway of where he would usually scurry in between the stairs and the living room rug. We put the tree there. So now you got to go around, and that's ruined his life, I think. And he needs help, really needs help now going to the living room. He has to be picked up and carried the whole way. All right, we trimmed this HTV, and I'll just use this fabric right here. Cover it with anything, fabric, pressing cloth, Teflon sheet. And that HTV has adhesive already on the back of it. So now we're just activating that adhesive. So just like as if, remember at the beginning of the show, I was questioning whether I should use heat and bond light on the back of this fabric. It's kind of like it has the heat and bond light already built in. Okay, now what's next? Let me go stitch this step, and I will go help Ozzy get in Abigail's room. All right, so this is white. This is a little decorative stitch around that. I love these motif run stitches that Kimberbell has on some of their designs. It's super cute. Okay, stay. Saved my dog from the floor. And Elise just informed me she does not want to come open my advent calendar presents, so I get to open them. Okay, what's next? Stitch the chimney top. And that's back to red thread. And stitch. Okie dokie. I have not been able to look at the chat. Aw, she will be missed, Trish. Thank you. Is there a tiny font that would work to put in a house number above the door? Oh, that's a cute idea. Let's see. Yeah, it would have to be a super tiny font. Let's see what I have. Ooh, bet you. Okay, so you know the Embrilliance fonts that come with Essentials, you can size down pretty small. Look at that. So you could probably put a number here, so it wouldn't be above the door. Let's see if I can make it smaller. Nope. Okay, that's the smallest it'll let me make it. You probably fit 2 numbers right there. I don't know if you could fit 4. Like, say you're number 12. You could fit that with that block condensed. Or if you have the Merrily, not Merrily now, it's called Patch Artist. They come with some little teeny tiny fonts. So then, yeah, you could stitch a house number right there. That would be cute. All right, now we are stitching white, going back to white. And these are going to be the tiny little eyelet holes where we will eventually poke the fairy lights to shine through. Thread the needle. Yeah, you could put it on the side of the house, then it would, you could probably fit more letters. And you can make them, go up and down maybe, but then you do two letter numbers. Let's see. Linda, thank you so much. Linda says she sent $10 and she says 5 batteries or a latte. I like both of those ideas. Thank you so very much. That's very kind of you. And then, oh, Charlene, you did too. Thank you. Now I could buy both. I could buy batteries and a latte. Y'all are so sweet. Y'all don't have to do that. I'm checking up in the chat where I haven't seen. Oh, y'all are so sweet. Sharon says, as much as you bless us with your teaching, let someone bless you. That, y'all are so sweet. And Joey and I'm so excited about rulers. Oh, and Linda, thank you. That's a great idea. If I run out of time, we'll finish the candy. I'll just leave everything in the hoop and we'll do the candy cane next class. Let's see. And you, Joanna, you don't use those rulers at all? Let's see. I love you, Linda. You're so awesome. Your cheat class. Let's see. Oh, Charlene has a good, you could add numbers from your machine too. You could see how tiny they let you put them on your machine. Okay. Let's open up some presents. Thank you. I appreciate y'all, Linda. All right, let's open up some presents while we're waiting. Okay, so if you missed it at the beginning, I purchased the Missouri Star Quilt Shop, Jenny's Countdown to Christmas. It's like an advent calendar for sewing and quilting. And it comes in a big old box. And inside that box, there are 25 little packages, one for each day of the month until Christmas for December. On Monday, Elise helped me and we opened up day 1, which I'm very excited about. Let me go grab it so in case y'all didn't see it. Now I got to find it. That's going to be a whole nother problem. Oh, I found it right away. I put it back in the package. Day 1 was this cute panel. Came with a panel and a pattern to take that panel and make a snow globe quilt or table runner, which I love. Super excited about that. All right, let's go change this thread and then open presents. All right, still on white. Now we have all the cute little decorative things. So I don't have to change my thread. Just let it do its thing. Okay. So, oh, Joanna, you're so sweet. She says, happy to see them go to a new home and an aspiring quilter. And she's excited to help teach me quilting. And she's learned so much embroidery stuff from me. Yay. I'm excited. Okay. Number 2. What's wrong now? Wait, my machine is mad at me. Check and rethread the upper. My thread broke. I can't see it down here, so I'm like pulling it out the path without pulling it backwards. At least I'm trying to. I see where the problem is. It's all nested. I need it to go around this bar. I can't help it. It was stuck in the lever right there, but it's all nested, shredded. Okay, cut that off. and rethread. And I have to look and see where it left off up here. And it looks like it started to shred a little bit there. So I'm going to stitch over that spot. So let's back up and just keep hitting -10 until that looks like it's way up there now. I'm doing one at a time and just going. All right, that looks like a good spot. And it's just stitching right on top. There we go. Now fix that spot. That looks, no, it's shredded again. Something's not happy. Let me clean my bobbin. I could see the thread. Yep, there it goes right there. Why are you not happy, thread? Did I hit cut? I think I did. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, okay. First start with re-threading the bobbin and see if that makes it happier. And then while I'm at it, you can clean your upper thread path with unwaxed dental floss. I got this on Amazon, and it's a ridiculous amount of money for dental floss, just to warn you. It was like 15 bucks, but it was the only unwaxed dental floss that I could find. But you just run it through the thread path, let it pull through, and you could do it a couple times. See if there's anything in there that's bothering the upper thread. Okay, bobbins in, clean the thread path, rethread. And I'm going to back up stitches again. I'm just watching it closely. Okay, I don't see no shredding. Seems to have done the trick. Seems happy now. All right. It just doesn't want me to open any presents probably. All right. Oh yeah, that's another thing to check. Charlene says maybe a new needle. I will do that if it does it again. Oh, let's see. What did Trish say? Oh, okay. Trish said there were a lot of great ideas on Facebook regarding that panel. I love the one that made it like a cathedral window that made the snow globes look circular. Ooh, on Facebook on that this panel. I'll have to go look. Which in which group do they have? I don't think I'm in a Missouri Star group. So tell me where to go look because I want to see. I love that. I'll tell everyone quilting keeps me out of jail. I love it. Okay, finally, day 2. Let's do it. Felt like some kind of tool. Oh, it's a teeny tiny rotary blade. Oh, that's precious. And it's in a little stocking vinyl pouch. Oh, I love this. This is adorable. Adorable. So cute. Oh, and the blade itself says, "We wish you a quilty Christmas." A quilty Christmas. That's what the blade says on it. I don't know if it will focus, but it's super cute. I love this. Precious. Okay, so that's day 2. And then that was for Tuesday, yesterday. This is for Wednesday. And it feels like a charm pack. So we will see. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's a charm pack. Ooh, this is pretty. So Maywood Studio Mix and Match. I love charm packs. And let's see the different fabrics. So we got this green flower. Oh, that's cute. Like a minty starburst. Oh, minty little, like snowflakes. Oh, that's precious. That's cute. Cute. Oh, this is so cute. Next. Green stripes. And then I'm guessing they got all the variations in yellow too. Cute. Oh, this one's different. I didn't see one with that. So it's like almost hearts on a leaf. That's cute. On a vine, hearts on a vine. Oh, I love the king. The buffalo check kingdom. That's pretty. That one's cute. Then we're getting to like the orangey colors. This is a beautiful set. And you know, this little table runner that I'm making right now can be made with a charm pack because all you need is 2 pieces of the fabric, a 5-inch piece and a 4-inch square piece. So I could make this little pattern I'm making right now with any charm pack. This is so stinking cute. What's left? And that one. I love it. Very cute. That is the presents for today. Love it. Good stuff. Let's see. All right. Yay, Denise. Says she opened up hers too. She loves the rotary colors. I love these colors too. I can use a lot of this for applique, yes. That those fabrics work with the spring designs for Kimberbell. Yes. Yes, I bet they do. This is super cute. Love it. Super duper cute. And yeah, this is a 28 millimeter rotary cutter. It's a little tiny guy. It's precious. It's so cute. And I love the little case it came in. It's called Peppermint Clara. That's what they have written on the little case. Adorable. Okay. So that was my packages the first 3 days. This, and this. Very nice. And that, like, it goes to show you, like, to me, each one of these things is probably at least $10, right? The panel is probably $10. The pattern's probably a few dollars. I don't know how much rotary blades like this cost, but that's more than $10. A charm pack on sale is usually around $10. And so if I have 25 $10 packages, you know, that's more than what I paid for the box. But they have lots of gifts in there that are worth more than that. More than $10. Okay, I think I am going to listen to Linda and I'm going to pause here because I still got to go get Elise ready and get in the car to go get Abby. I wanted to leave here at 3, so this gives me a few minutes. So I'm going to pause here. My phone is ringing. My husband. And when we come back on Friday, this will still be in the hoop. Even if I stitch something else, I just pull up. I didn't move the design anywhere, right? I just opened it. So all I'd have to do is reopen this design and fast forward to the candy cane step, and we can pick up right where we left off on this design. And we'll applicate the candy cane, trim it, and then start the Christmas tree block on Friday. And I don't have anywhere to go on Friday, so that class can be however long it takes to finish everything. So how does that sound to everyone? Nope, not this. Oh, and I was over there. I was thinking my camera was over there. It was not. Hi. Okay, so all that's left here, you could look at the block, is the candy cane. And like right where the needle, under where the needle is, that's where the candy cane goes. It's the same procedure as what we did on the first block, which was the street lamp, which will be a combination of the red glitter HTV, and then we'll use that white topping stuff and white thread. Anyway, we'll stitch it all out on Friday. Like I said, as long as I leave everything in the hoop, I could just leave that hoop alone. I could still use my machine to work on piecing this little quilt that I'm making. And I could just open up that same embroidery design on Friday and fast forward. So this coming Friday, December 5th, and it's going to be at 10:30 a.m. Central Time, 11:30 Eastern Time. And we'll finish this block, trim it, and start the Christmas tree block. Sounds good, everybody? Oh, and there was another little announcement. I need to fix it on the website. I have to change our last class, the embellishment class. I'm going to do it. It was supposed to be on a Friday, but it's when I'm supposed to have my December sip and stitch. So I'm going to move it to Thursday because I don't have anything scheduled to have to do on Thursday. So we're going to have our last class on Thursday. I think it's like December 18th now instead of Friday, December 19th. But I'll update the homepage for the sew along so y'all can see it. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching and joining. I appreciate each and every one of y'all, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone.